everybody. Just wanted to make sure that the stream is set up right. I was playing with a lot of stuff today, mostly just audio issues. I had to make a whole shelf for my microphone because last time, which was the very first stream I did, I realized that as I was slamming the desk, it was picking up every little movement that I did, which would be pretty awful for watching and listening to someone draw, considering that they are mashing the keyboard and slamming the pencil down on a pad the entire time. I have some music playing. Let me know if you guys can't hear it or if it's like too loud or my voice is too soft. Like I said, this is literally my second stream. I am still just trying to figure things out, and any help would be appreciated. Any sort of feedback like that. I was trying to be able to get some music playing in the background, so that way you don't just hear me just slamming the keyboard and stuff like that. So, and also I could listen to some music too with you. So if you can't hear it, let me know. It's supposed to be playing. I have it playing on my Windows Media Player. Everybody remember Windows Media Player, the superior audio playback software? Man, I love that thing. And ever since Windows 10 came out and they did the stupid Windows 10 media player, it is awful. And same thing with the video player. Man, I don't know why they just didn't continue with the Windows Media Player, because it was so good. It was so good. So anyway, to everybody out there, welcome. My name is Paul. I'm an artist from Houston, Texas. I'm an artist, but I am also a gamer. If you caught my Tuesday stream, we were playing Zelda Ocarina of Time Randomizer. And we made such good progress, and by progress I mean probably not any progress. We got the light arrows, for one, and that was about it. Oh, we got the compass for the forest temple, I think. So yeah, I'm pretty much stuck already, and it was only about an hour and a half of gameplay. So woohoo! Anyway, what we're going to do today is I figured that since we were playing Zelda Ocarina of Time, we could hop in and draw a little bit of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Clearly, as you can see from my beautiful art skills already, I was messing around with doing some testing for the stream. So if this is what you came for and you wanted to see, well, there you go. You got a little stinky link here. You got a really very basic Navi fairy that's following Link around, and of course, if you're a true gamer, Zelda gamer, you know that that is the buffest Ganondorf you ever did see. So I see that someone's in the chat. Are you able to hear the music? Like, is it okay? I wanted it to kind of be soft and kind of not overblow my voice or be annoying in general. So let me know if the music volume is good. If not, I can mess around with a little bit more. Oh, by the way, I'm sipping some Taco Bell sweet tea. A little bit loud on the music. Not ear-shattering. Well, what if I wanted it to be ear-shattering? Let me see if I can reduce my sound here just a little bit. That's in XSplit, so let me know if that helps. I've got my sound mixer. The volume is like super low. Yes. All right. If you're at lunch and you're chilling at your office, take out your headphones. If you're eating your desk, take off your headphones and just blast some Zelda music, right? Some totally legit downloaded Zelda Smash Bros. Ultimate music that I got playing on my Windows Media. Hey, remember Windows Media playlist? Here, everybody check this out. Ready? Heck yeah, there it is. There you go. Here's my Zelda chest right here of legitly downloaded Zelda music from Smash Brothers. Yeah, here's look at how good Windows Media Player is. See it? Yeah. Here's the sexy Windows Media Player booty right here. There you go. This is what you came for. Just get it all in. Look, you can create playlists, just drag it. It's the easiest software in the world to use. And then when you go and try to do the Windows 10 thing, it's all butt. It's all butt. ancient relic. Find I had to like go to like three different like what do it Pirate Bay web type website to be able to find a copy of Windows Media Player to download. But yeah, man. All right, so let's get started. So Thursdays, or sorry, let me start over. On Tuesdays we game because we're gamers, and on Thursday we draw because we're drawers, artists. And we're going to stick with the game Zelda Ocarina of Time. So let's get this crappy drawing out here. Unless you, I mean, I might sell prints of this if you want on the website. All right, so might switch over to Illustrator. Might not. Um, just depends on how things go. Okay, so I had this idea that I wanted to draw a little Stinky Link, kind of because it's a randomizer, right? So most thing that we're going to be doing is trying to find treasure chests. And I always liked the little scene where Link is kind of just digging in that treasure chest for something. So I figured, why not we draw a little cute Link, just kind of getting in that treasure chest, trying to find something good. Maybe a compass for the water temple, because as sure as heck we're going to need that. Anyway, also, it's lunchtime, so what are you guys having for lunch? I'm using, so this is just Photoshop Creative Suite, I think still 2019. I don't think I've updated it because I don't want to mess with all my settings again. But this is just, I have the subscription to Photoshop and Illustrator. And then for all the vector stuff is for Illustrator too. So I am running so my GPU is a GTX 1070, and then for the actual like drawing part of it, I'm using a Wacom or Wac. I prefer Wacom because it sounds cooler. The Wacom, I think it's actually pronounced Wacom. Why? I don't know. But it's the Wacom Intuos Pro small, actually. And if you were to actually like take a look at this thing, it's actually not that small. It's rather large for all things considered. I mean, it takes up a pretty big chunk of my desk, and it's more than you can see. It's a little bit dusty right there because I was eating Taco Bell all over it. Yeah, it's a rather if you're looking for a drawing tablet, I highly recommend getting one of these. It's a little bit older than like this one's maybe like 2015, I think. It's a good tablet. Like it's a really responsive tablet. They give you lots of, and it comes with the pen, so you don't need to actually like buy a separate pen or anything like that. The setup on it is a little bit hard because you have to make sure that you adjust your settings to as you need. But I mean, it's going to be the same with any sort of drawing tablet. They also make ones that are, I think it's the bamboo, and that's like the cheaper end of things. Sorry, I just kind of banged my mic there. It's the less expensive one. I don't think it has as many like actual options and stuff like that. Like as far as I guess preferences maybe. But did I start drawing using traditional media and then transition digital, or have you always done digital? So I mean, I've always liked drawing ever since I was a kid, and so I mean, back then you didn't really have digital things, that any normal person could buy. It was mostly just the professionals. And when you're a kid, you don't. My mama and daddy were poor, and we couldn't just give me all my stuff. And I also had to get to all the video games and stuff. So, I always used to draw just with my pencil and stuff. When I started doing things a little bit more seriously when I got older, I started out actually doing my professional work in digital. I've done a few comics. I've done some T-shirt designs, logo designs, and stuff digitally. And then when I started getting into art full time is when I kind of transitioned into wanting to practice more traditional type stuff. So yeah, we got our treasure chest here. I want to get the size right because Link is all like a tiny little boy. So that is not the lasso. Little tiny boy. There you go. Little tiny Linky boy. I was actually at an event a couple months ago. I think back in February, beginning of February, and it was a little art market. One of my favorite Zelda games besides Ocarina of Time. So it kind of changes pretty much all the time. For the longest time, it was Majora's Mask. Like ever since playing, like I said in the Tuesday stream, my very first actual Zelda game was Ocarina of Time, and when Majora's Mask came out, I was just like, this is just Zelda Ocarina of Time with just crazy. It's on steroids. It's so good, and so Majora's Mask held that spot for a really, really long time. But it kind of comes and goes depending on what. I mean, Breath of the Wild was great. I don't know if it would ever be my favorite. Twilight Princess is probably a really close second, as far as the 3D Zelda games go. But I think doesn't Young Link have little? He doesn't have tights on, does he? No, he doesn't. So he's gonna have some bear. He's gonna have some bear skins. But the Ocarina of Time, or not the Ocarina of Time, the Oracle games, those games were awesome too. And so I feel like when it comes to Zelda, you really do have to kind of break it up into 3D versus 2D games, because I mean they're so different in terms of gameplay, and I mean you have the central components of puzzle solving and dungeons and stuff, but scale is a huge thing that I think helps drive the majesty of the 3D Zelda games versus the 2D Zelda games. It really is apples to oranges. I know there's a lot of, and I gotta be honest, I didn't, when I played Link to the Past, I think, so I had played Ocarina of Time in when I was around 8 years old, and then I don't think I played A Link to the Past until maybe, gosh, until I was in my mid-teens, I think. And when I played that, I was just like, the combat, I know that combat in a SNES game is not really something to really be able to criticize because it's a SNES game, right? But I just could not get a handle on it. I didn't like the controls. I couldn't get over the fact that Link had purple hair. Come on, really? And I remember, so I'm a big fan of Game Grumps, and I remember Aaron Hansen did this crazy thing with comparing Ocarina of Time and A Link to the Past, and a lot of his criticisms were talking about the transition between 2D and 3D, and how you can't do the types of things in 3D that you can in 2D, being able to see all the different components of the dungeon all at once, on the same screen. But the issue is that he was complaining about it, right? He didn't like how you in the 3D space you weren't able to see all the different switches around the corner, that you had to actually look around the corner to see it. And so yes, in the 3D space those types of puzzles would be streamlined, but at the same time the whole aspect of puzzle solving in a 3D space is being able to understand visually that 3D space. and so you just can't compare it. I don't think that there's a comparison between those things, and it's odd because I feel like you can do that sort of thing for other types of games, but when it comes to Zelda, like I don't think you can very easily. All right, so we got Link here. He's digging around in his little treasure chest. We got a little bit of tuft of hair back here. There you go. So what's everybody having for lunch? It's lunchtime. Everybody's on their lunch break. Maybe getting back from the lunch break. Link's got a donk on him. I didn't do that. That's canon. Link's got a donk. All right, so we got a little sketch here. PB and J. What is the ratio of PB and J? More peanut butter or more jelly? There is a wrong answer. One to 9. What, the ratio of peanut butter and jelly? 1 to 9? Is 1 peanut butter or is 9 peanut butter? No! You're just wrong. Yeah, more PB. More PB. More PB is the way to go. I mean, I am biased because I'm a guy that will 100% just destroy a jar of peanut butter just by itself. You got a little bit of grass here. Maybe this is like the very first treasure chest. You're saying the perfect thing is like a LaCroix? The perfect PB jelly sandwich is a ratio where the PB is like a LaCroix. For a really long time, I was actually sick of peanut butter and jelly because I used to have it all the time when I was in elementary school. That's what my mom would make me for elementary school. And obviously my mom would make me lunch all through my adult life, of course, and so I'd have peanut butter jelly just daily. No, I'm just kidding. And so I was just like sick of it for a really long time. And then, after being an adult and being able to do whatever I want, I was just like, I'm just going to just eat straight up peanut butter. Who even cares? Who even cares? So we got Link over here. Maybe he's got like a little... Maybe the Deku tree's back here. He's like, oh. He's so excited about what we got. Oh, sorry for the Dookie tree. There you go. He's got his little eyeball. He's like old, doesn't he have like little... There you go. Yeah, exactly. He's kind of like rediscovered it. It's exactly like me. Are you me? Does he have a nose? Yeah, he does. He's got a big old like tree nose. Well, I had a doctor's appointment today, so my lunch was actually breakfast. My doctor was like, "Oh, you're doing really good. You might want to just like work on losing a little bit of weight here and there." He's like, "You should try giving intermittent fasting a try." And I've actually seen some stuff about intermittent fasting on online, like on Reddit and stuff like that, where it was like, "Oh, I tried intermittent fasting and I lost well below 100 pounds," and so I was like, "Oh, I mean, yeah, sure, I'll give it a try." And I went immediately to Taco Bell. for my breakfast lunch. Although I went to the Taco Bell that doesn't serve breakfast because I was gonna get Taco Bell breakfast, which is amazing. By the way, don't even at me with your Taco Bell sucks because it doesn't. So I had Taco Bell lunch for breakfast. But I guess I could try the intermittent fasting by not having actual lunch. Oh, he's an old man. I always like using 10 point. So basically, what my doctor was saying is that intermittent fasting is basically skipping meals. That's all it is. Um, like I figured that he was going to say something like you have to like go for a real long time without food, but he's like, I mean, intermittent fasting is kind of like 8 hours between eating. Yeah, 8 hours of eating. Exactly. From 8 hours, then 8 hours of eating. Usually 12. Yeah, he said something about like an 8 hour span of time where you don't eat, or maybe no, you're right. 8 hours of eating, like a 8 hour period throughout the day where you would eat of street eating. It's like, rah! And then you fast. I mean, yeah, exactly. Just get 10 pounds of peanut butter. That'll last you. That'll last you the 8 hours. All right. So got a little bit of a sketch here. Let's go ahead and. I always like doing like layers of sketches, so that way I can just kind of piece out what I want to do. So I got a little stinky link here, and I want to get a smoother stroke. Yeah, so it's like 8 hours of where you would eat, like snacking or any sort of regular meals, and then like something like not eating dinner is kind of what his go-to like actual like example was. So you would wake up in the morning, uh, like either not eat breakfast and uh, start eating like over a lunchtime, and then when that 8 hour period is up, you don't eat any more meals. You don't snack. You don't uh, have like a dinner or anything, and then that's it. And then the next day you kind of start that over. And you don't have to do that every single day. You do that for a period of time, and then that's kind of like your intermittent fasting period, and you kind of go back to your normal 3 meals a day sort of thing. Which I mean, it's odd that I'm kind of like in the situation that I am now because I normally don't eat breakfast. I really only started eating breakfast ever since I started working from home doing art, and so I mean that might be a reason why I've gained a few pounds. But I mean, it's not like super significant. Basically, I went to the doctor and he told me I was fat. That was pretty much it. Story of our lives, right? All right, so got some little stinky link booties right here. Yes, exactly. I mean, I know. I'm sure a lot of my eating habits come from being totally poor growing up. Pizza rolls? Exactly. I mean, my family wasn't like extremely poor or anything like that. We were like lower middle class growing up. But since I'm a millennial, we're always poor. So, what's the big diff, huh? Heck yeah, they are. Pizza rolls are my jam. Get the 90 pack. Double it up. What's the jingle for Bagel Bites? Had a jingle? I don't remember that. Was it like, come get your Bagel Bites? They're not as good as pizza rolls. Oh yeah, that was it. It was just the Kellogg or the Kellogg's, the Kool-Aid Man just coming in for some Bagel Bites. Ah, that sleeve doesn't look too good. Let me make this sleeve look a little bit better. That look good? Yeah, that looks fine. Yeah, we gotta get that treasure chest coming up now. Alright, we'll start a new layer. Pizza anytime. Yeah, only if you're a kid. When you're an adult, you can actually have pizza anytime. You don't even need the Bagel Bites. What were some of your favorite 90s commercials? If you remember any. I mean, I could probably remember like the styles of them off the top of my head, but I don't know if I can remember anything super specific. I mean, I think I remember more 80s ones than anything else. That was just because they were a meme for a really long time. Excuse me. Taco Bell. There we go. Almost. Almost! Maybe we can get... This line's being a little... I want to get this as straight as possible. That's not straight. Straight enough! Rotate this back to where it actually was. Yeah, Run for the Border. They had the... Oh yeah, the Skip It commercial. I remember the Skip It commercial. Did you guys ever have a Skip It? I think like one of my cousins had one, and we played with it for like a day. And there was the Bop It commercials. Bop It, Twist It. Do it. Order 66. Do it. Really? Do you ever bust it out and be like, whenever your friends come over and be like, hey, all right, we're gonna have a Skip It challenge. It's actually pretty badass that you've held on to that for so long. Socket boppers? Oh, I don't... Those sound so familiar. I remember when I was younger, I wanted one of the... I guess it was like on the tail end of the 90s. I guess when Razor scooters were becoming a thing. I mean, they didn't really last a whole long time, but... My mom was like, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, Razor scooter. I want to be cool. And so my mom, like, they were kind of expensive too, those Razor scooters. And so my mom and dad finally got me one for Christmas. I think that I took it out 3 times. I wasn't a bad kid. That I didn't appreciate my mother and father's love, but that luster. I think it was just. I think it was just because I was such like, you're in one of those like brat stages in when you're a kid, and it's kind of like the luster of the thing that you want kind of goes away, especially if it's been such a long time between like the initial fad, and then your parents are like, we worked really hard to pull enough money together to be able to get you this cool thing that you really wanted for a really long time, and you're like, yeah, but I've already moved on to Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and Siphon Filter. To a certain extent. I like to think that I was a pretty decent kid, and probably mostly because I didn't have friends growing up, and so I didn't get in trouble. I remember one time I really acted like a brat in front of one of my friends, and my mom. It was like one of the only times my mom yelled at me. Was in the car because my friend like fell asleep in the car, and I wanted his attention really bad, and like it was like a. She brought her kid, which was me, and then the other mom brought her kid for like a play date. And we were in the car. And this is a very interesting story, by the way. And so I really wanted his attention, and he was like asleep in the back seat with me, and so I started like slamming the back seat of the car and like yelling. It was like, Tyler, wake up, wake up! I want your attention. I want to talk about Pokemon and stuff. You're asleep. Stop being such a dummy. And so I was just like making a noise and like throwing a ruckus in the back seat of the car. And my friend's mom was still just kind of like chatting with my mom. And then when we got home, my mom was just like, "Don't you ever do that again. You embarrassed the heck out of me." Yeah, I was 16 at the time. That was like 3 days ago when my mom came over. I was just like, "Whoa, I'll never do that again." It's like especially if like you've never really seen your mom get angry before or anything like that, and that one thing that just like sets her off, you're just like, "Whoa." Moms that don't get angry end up becoming the most terrifying thing when they finally do. But I mean, as long as you have like a good mom that's not like actually mean. Alright, so we got a little lock. He was able to, funnily enough, all the treasure chests that are open to Link don't have any locks on them. So he's able to get in. Maybe we can add a little bit of like Woody effect here. Woody and Buzz Lightyear effect. So how's everybody's workday going today? Or school day, or day, whatever you happen to be doing. Everybody having a good day? Pretty slow. I mean, slow days are, sometimes slow days are the good days. Back when I worked at my office job, I want to start these on a different layer so I can erase them a little bit easier. Maybe start with a little bit smaller brush too. There we go. back when I was working at my office job, there was pretty much every day was a slow day. I was a data input man, so I didn't really have much to do outside of looking at my computer. But I got to jam and chill with my boss, so that we watch YouTube and listen to music and just kind of jam out with my headphones on and stuff. And as long as I did my work and met with my goals, I was good to go. So I would occasionally watch Twitch at work. Actually, um, at first they like when I first like started watching more and more Twitch, they had originally like had it blocked, and then for some reason just uh, had it unblocked at some point. I was like, oh cool, I guess I could watch my favorite streamer gamers at work. Yeah, because the IT guys watch it. Exactly. Or the only other explanation is that all of my security certificates were so far out of date because I refused to update to the Windows 10 Enterprise um, that the rest of the company was supposed to, or that the rest of the company had updated to, and so all of my security tickets were outdated, and so it was just kind of like I am free game, but just please don't go back and tell my boss that I did that. I was totally impressed that I was able to skirt the security for that long. Who wants to upgrade to Windows 10? Like, pretty sure like everyone was like Windows 10 sucks. Like, why would we do this? In my office, you were the IT guy. Yeah, you have control over everything. You could go hang out on Twitch. You can go watch YouTube. You could go to 4chan. That won't get you fired, obviously. So we got a little flower here. What should we add? How about a little bee? A little Zelda bee, like from Link to the Past. Little bee boy. Boop. Do bees even have antennas? There you go. Little bee boy. Rupees! Oh, yeah! Got little rupees poking out of the grass. Good suggestion. Very good suggestion. Maybe we'll have on this side. We'll have some rupees poking out of the grass. We'll draw some more little grassy things over here. Just in the background, just having the Deku tree just get mauled by the cuckoos. So I have my Windows Media Player list to play on repeat. Play these awesome Zelda. So these Zelda tracks on repeat. I was trying to find some cool music to download to be able to play it. I was trying to get freaking XSplit to play like just off of the webpage. It was just not having it. So I had to come up with an alternative option, and obviously the best alternative option, Windows Media Player. Obviously. Alright, there we go. Oh, we need some little rupees poking out of the grass. There you go. Just a little rupee. That'll be like a 50 rupee. Did anybody ever play Minish Cap? Minish Cap was pretty good. One of those other classic handheld Zeldas. Yeah, it was good. I wish that they had gone. I feel like if they could totally do something, especially with the new hardware. They could do some really cool stuff with Minish Cap, like the shrinking and stuff. I feel like it's more of like an overplayed sort of theme in certain respects, but I mean, like the way that they did it on that, and like Capcom was great because Capcom did those. Capcom did the Oracle of Ages games, or the Oracle games, the Seasons and Ages, and then they did the Minish Cap. They did. Was that it? Was it one more? Oh, so these green lines are just my. They were just my sketch lines. I actually have like multiple layers of sketch stuff. So like this was just my little stick figure just to get the positioning right. I don't know if I have the opacity down on that. So I you can work with whatever color you want, but I just find having green being the color for the sketches just to be a little bit easier for me to digest. And then like you can see as I'm like layering over it, I'm getting more and more detailed. So like you saw that one, and then here's my more detailed version, and then so I kind of just was like I was satisfied with that, how it looked, just to make sure that everything's in the right position, you know, visually and perspective wise, and then I can go over and try to start doing my finalizing lines. Definitely a little bit easier to do in digital art than it is in traditional media, since you have the potential for layers. Which I mean, in certain things that you do for digital art, you do have layers. So I don't know if you guys have ever looked at someone doing inking for comic books, but they will do a similar style or a similar process for the drawing and inking of a comic book page. So they'll have tracing paper, which is very thin paper that they just do a little bit of a sketch on, and then they'll put another piece down. Get those images more refined, put another piece down, kind of throw in the details a little bit more, and then when they're satisfied with how everything looks, they'll slap down the final piece and start inking. And they actually have a device. I think I might be able to show it. They use a device called a lightboard, which looks like this. This is the one I got. I mean, it's not a super professional one or anything like that, but basically, you just tap it in, and there's like a little bit of a light source here, and that way you can see through the paper and trace over it. So that's the general idea. Just getting more and more refined as you progress through your drawing. So I hope that kind of explains a little bit of the process there. And you can see that I'm not actually like following the exact parts of the sketch, because there was more of just like, oh, I want the grass to go here, and I want like Link's foot to look like this, sort of, just to get a general idea of how things will look on a page. And so I started out as a concept artist myself, and so being able to just sketch ideas down fast and efficiently was kind of like a tool to be able to get enough ideas down to have the project manager or art director be able to like just choose something. Because like when you're a concept artist, you don't want to spend a lot of time like refining and throwing out all the details and stuff on the first go. That's for like the final piece. Then we got to draw a little Deku tree back here. Throw him on one more layer. Yeah, exactly. It's and I mean sometimes I'll go because like I like the way that this position of this tree looks, so I'll pretty much follow this almost exactly to the T. But especially when you're doing environment stuff, like just throwing down where something is going to be makes all the difference, because a lot of times you're not going to know where things are as you progress through the drawing until you actually draw them down on the paper, or in this case the screen. All right, Cinnamon Toast Goggles. I hope you had a good lunchtime lunch break with me. If you have a chance, follow some of my stuff. Follow my YouTube. I got the links down below in the Twitch chat. But yeah, hope you had a good lunch break and have a good, nice rest of the day. Take it easy. I'll actually look at the camera this time and not at the chat. Take it easy. Oh, and if you wanted to catch the rest of the thing or the stream, I'm gonna be posting this up on the YouTube archive, so that way you can catch the rest. Maybe for dinner time. Just maybe you don't have to have peanut butter and jelly, but so this song in particular, I remember when this was a Smash Brothers Brawl song for you guys that were in the Brawl. Um, I remember seeing this update on like the Brawl announcement website, and there was maybe like a 40-second like clip of this song on the webpage, and I would play that 40 seconds over and over again because I was like, this is the coolest freaking song. This like remix of the Song of Storms. It's like, man, best song in Ocarina of Time and pretty much Zelda for sure. Do I carry a sketchbook with me? Sometimes I try to. Ever since I started working from home, I kind of just have access to it, like kind of at my desk. But as I go out, yeah, I try to, especially if we're going out to, like like a coffee shop or something. Just to be able to like sketch little books down. My wife actually got me a new set of sketchbooks, like tiny ones, that I will be able to just jot down any sort of ideas that I had. I have to get in the habit of just bringing them in my pocket because I would normally like when we go out we'd bring like our Kindles and stuff to be able to read at a coffee shop, and so that's when I would bring the sketchbook. But I just got to get in the habit of bringing it with me. But for the most part, like I'm kind of like, because I'm working from home, I have access to the sketchbook, so I can just jot down any sort of ideas that I want. See, the worst is when you are about to go to bed and you have an idea, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll remember it in the morning, just fine. I'll remember the exact thing. It shouldn't be that long. I'll just go to sleep and I'll mark it down in the morning. Nope. Always, always, always get up. Like, I don't know how tired you are. I don't care how tired. You get up and you draw or you write down that idea because you are sure as heck going to forget it the next morning. Like, it's just a guarantee. That is my artist advice to you today. If you have an idea and you are in bed and you're about to go to bed, you better get your butt up, write it down, or draw it. Because you are going to lose it come the morning. It's just how it works. Yeah, you got like those little like moleskin little notebooks that you just be able to drop ideas down in. Ideas. I'm from Texas, y'all. I'm actually not from Texas. But I ain't telling you where I'm from. I ain't telling you. You guys are gonna dox my state. You guys are gonna dox my home state. Ooh! On the Deku tree. I'm constantly screaming. But yeah, the little notebooks that my wife got me, they're like the little. I might be able to show them to you. They are a little tiny. They'll fit in your back pocket. And check that out. Little tiny there. And they got like idea indexes. These little notebooks are called the Hatch notebooks. They're like things for ideas. Um, and like these are the best when these like little. I don't know if you can see it super duper well, but they got the grids. Perfect for game design, you know, especially if you're working in pixels. Yeah, exactly. Like you better record it, or that idea is gonna go away. So yeah, like maybe keep a little notebook at your bedside table or something like that. You know, just to be able to write it down. Like I didn't used to write stuff down like when I was in college, you know, which is when you should be writing everything down. If you really think about it. And so like all sorts of ideas about like projects that I wanted to do or just ideas that I had in general. I'd be like, whatever, I'll just remember it. I'll forget it. It'll come back to me. Nah. That's probably why I did so bad in college. And now I'm sitting here on Twitch. Drawing for you guys and hanging out. So really, just do bad in college, and then you can come hang out and draw on Twitch. Just kidding. Don't do good in college, please. All right, where's our treasure chest? There it is. Let's go ahead and fix a little bit of shading right here. Or not shading, fix the lines here. Perfect. Perfecto. Is anybody's work or school or anything having any sort of impacts due to the coronavirus? Everybody still doing good? Everybody's safe? Everybody washing their hands normally, like the normal person should do every single day, all the time? I know I keep zooming in and out like crazy, but it's what I do. Alright, so we got the lines. Good. Let's merge these line shapes here, and let's go ahead and start doing some coloring. I'm always going to not do fills for my coloring because it doesn't always get all the lines all the right way. All right, so by the way, if you guys caught the stream on Tuesday, because it's a randomizer, there's a lot of stuff that gets randomized. You can randomize the music, you can randomize the colors, you can randomize, you know, obviously you randomize the location of the treasure chest, the items and stuff. And so Link's normal green tunic is now purple in our game, in our randomizer game. He's a purple Nurple Link. An astute choice. Is purple your favorite color? I mean, hand sanitizer is fine. I guess. Just don't go scratching your butt and then shaking hands with the boss. Or me. In gamer related news, did you hear that E3 got canceled? Ooh. Sounded like E3 wasn't going downhill anyway. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised either. It was just everyone does that. Everyone does the goes the Nintendo Direct route nowadays, which in a way I actually prefer because, like, I don't know if you guys were ever uh, into watching the old cringe compilations of the like Microsoft and stuff. Man, those were just so bad. Those conferences, and Nintendo too had some cringy conference moments and stuff. So just like things not working. It's what you get for having developers and software engineers come out and promote a game. It's like they don't have stage experience or anything like that. And then when you have the people that can actually present, they're usually just the business people. It's like no one wants to listen to a businessman. No one wants to listen to a freaking businessman. There's Stinky Linky Boots. He's got a little belt here. There we go. It's all coming together. Oops. All coming together. Yeah, to your earlier comment with the paint bucket tool. Heck yeah, man. That's what happens to me all the time. Well, because I'm a messy drawer. You know, that's kind of my style. So, like, even like here, you see this little grass piece isn't closed all the way. I'm not gonna spend time to do that. And being able to draw in an underlayer is just so much nicer. Was it Link's a little bit of a pale skin tone? There we go. A little Stinky Link. Perfect. Potato, yeah, Mr. Potato Man. And there was God, what was that one? Was that guy for Bandai Namco or whatever, or just Namco at the time? He comes out and dude's like, I don't know if he's drunk or like high on something. And he comes out, he's like, comes up to the stage and he's just like, 1,000,000 troops, 1,000,000 troops, and he's like, huh? Huh? And everyone's like, yeah, sure. I had no idea what he was talking about. See, I don't know what his role in the development process was. Like I said, like if dude's like an engineer, he doesn't have experience doing presenting. Like get someone who actually has experience doing that. You have the money. You're a giant corporation getting money from little kiddos who want your game. He still got his little blonde hair, of course. The treasure chest is kind of like a pale brown, maybe like a little bit of a reddish tinge to it. Actually, haven't heard this music before. I know this is from the Smash Brothers soundtrack, but when it comes to the Smash Bros. Ultimate, I'm usually listening to the Castlevania music because that stuff is red as heck. Where he worked for or who he worked for? because I know he's doing like presentations in schools and stuff, in universities. Uh, oh yeah, Reggie was such a good hype guy. He was the hypest boy. I mean, that's when you got like the good mix of like a Mr. Businessman and uh, Mr. Businessman and like a gamer guy, you know, or like the development. I mean, I don't know. He wasn't really like involved with development type stuff, but he was the face of Nintendo of America, and you had to be like a cool, charismatic guy, which is what Reggie was. He was a cool, charismatic guy. Yeah, he was just like straight up. He was like, "Shut up." It was like I remember, I remember one of those presentations. He was like, it was after one of the I think they came out after the Microsoft, and Microsoft was like touting like all these like technical advances in Xbox One and all this other crazy stuff. Reggie's like, "What are games about? Games are about being fun, right?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, like that. Yeah, exactly. Everyone looks just want to have fun, play some games." He's like holding the 3DS and Switch and stuff. Yeah, is he on the board of directors now? Or not board, but GameStop board. He's doing presentations. Like I think he did like one at Caltech and MIT and stuff like that. I don't know if it was necessarily for game related stuff. It might have been for like like executive type stuff. But I mean, he's still super involved in the gaming scene. I mean, if anybody's going to do a good job, it's going to be him. Messed that up again. And God, Reggie was the face of the company since the GameCube era, I think. At least that was when I remember him the most. What a swell guy. Yeah, when he did the DS. Yeah, you're right. I wonder if that puppet's ever gonna go up for sale. That Muppet of him and Shiggy, Mr. Shiggy, when they turn into Star Foxes, should go up for auction. Did everybody in chat? Did everybody have a DS? I remember it took me a while to get one. Um, After like it had originally come out, I liked it. I didn't like it. I didn't. I don't think I played it as much as I probably would have if I was younger, because like it came out when I was in high school, so like I didn't have time to. You got the original? Oh, like the fat one, the fat like round one. Heck yeah, man. The 2DS XL. 2DSs were cool. I liked. My wife had got one because I had the 3DS XL, and then my wife and I wanted to play together, so she got the 2DS. It was cool. I liked the shape of it. It was fine. The little wedge shape thing. It was unique. It was cool. It reminded me a lot of the. I don't know why it reminded me of it, but it reminded me of like that weird design for the Game Boy Micro. Which, by the way, the Game Boy Micro apparently is like super rare and like selling for really high on eBay nowadays. Like seriously. Of all things, the Game Boy Micro. I mean, I guess if they didn't make a whole lot of them, but still. I've always wanted one. But now they're going for like $300 or $500 on eBay. You found your brother's old original 3DS and got it working? Did you figure out what was wrong with it initially? Like, was one of the screens busted? I know my nephew. My nephew would always like pull back the dual screen thing. Like, he would always like pull it back too far than what it was supposed to go, because it was supposed to go like kind of like sit like kind of like that almost, but he would always like pull it to where it was like flat. And eventually the freaking hinge snapped, and then it snapped the ribbon that connected the motherboard to the screen. He tried to repair it, but my my dad was helping him try to repair it, and I mean, those ribbons are so thin and tiny that he just tore it when he was trying to put it back in. He tried it like 3 times, and they were so thin and tiny that they tear so easily. Well, because they're like intended to like bend and stretch with the shape of the DS. So they just needed a watch battery, like a I don't know what they're actually just called. I just call them watch batteries. Yeah, that like a whole rarity thing. Like it only started a couple years ago. Like before then, like you could just everyone was just selling their Nintendos for like $20 on eBay. All right, here we go. All right, you want to try Phil? Let's see if a Phil works. Nope. There we go. That's why I don't use it. He's just like an old tree man. Where is there not a connection? Seriously? See, there you go. That's why I don't use it. Perfect. Yep, exactly. Bam. There we go. All right, ready? Art. Ready to do art? Shabam. Art's done. There you go. Got some diarrhea Link over here. Just exploding from the dookie tree. Classic MS Paint. I don't think I ever used MS Paint. My favorite drawing tool when I was a kid was, well, like it was like a coloring tool, not really a drawing tool. I guess it was kind of a drawing tool. It was one of those. God, I can't even remember the name of it. I think I looked it up one time because I was like, "What's the name of that drawing software where I could take the stickers of the whales and dolphins and just plaster them on the thing and it would make noises and do fun stuff?" I don't remember what the actual software was called, but it was like a little like coloring, like animation background. Like it had like a sea background, it had like a space background, and you could like, you know, if you picked the space background, you could like take the spaceship, you know, and it would just be like a sticker, and you just go like, And you can make little scenes and stuff with it. I think it was for like the old Mac, because my dad had an old Mac back in the day. Back when they were called Macintoshes, not just Macs. And it wasn't the one with the see-through bubblegum colors or blueberry color or whatever. It wasn't one of those. It was like one of those actual old Macs. Oops, I'll need a new folder. This is still an old, so he's got like little, like, not like super bright leaves. No, not on a Mac. It wasn't MS Paint on Mac. It was whatever that software was. I don't remember what it was. It was the funnest thing. I would sit there for hours playing on that game. You know, back when the game came on a floppy disk, not a CD-ROM. There was also this like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coloring online, or not online, computer coloring book thing. That stuff was great. It was like Teenage Mutant Turtles in World Tour. You would go around, turtle, like Leonardo would be sitting there at the Eiffel Tower, and you would you could color it in and be like, oh man, Leonardo's actually Raphael because I made him red. That was another floppy disk game. Oh, yeah. I don't know if we could make... I don't remember if the one that I had was able to make games in it. Like I said, I looked it up one time and I was able to find it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. Did he have a mustache? I think he just had eyebrows. You could build out Flash logic in it. Yeah, it was something like that. If you can remember the name of it, and it's probably the same thing. I remember like you would be able to like put stickers down and like it would have like little animation things on it. Yo, TIE Fighter though? My brother had that game, and that game was awesome. That's some blue flowers. How about that? Some pretty blue flowers. Oh, I don't know why the fill wasn't working. It was because I was not on a line layer. That's why. See, I don't use fill. Like, why would I use fill? Why would I even know how fill works? Why would I know how Phil Spencer and Dr. Phil work? Did you know that they re-released TIE Fighter a little while ago? You can get it on Steam. It's like an updated version. Ah. Alright, we got let's see some blue roops. Yeah, green roop. And a red roop. Perfect. Perfect. Beautiful. Look at that boy. Alright, and then we got all our coloring down. Let's get rid of this poopy brown layer. call it colors. Yeah, Juju's great. I've been getting most of my games from like small games from Humble Bundle. Um, but what was it called? Good Old Games? Is that what it's called? Yeah, they're great. Some of the only reason why I haven't had as many games from them is just because the games that I want, their prices are still like the same as they would be on Steam for the games that I want specifically. But some good stuff that you gotten from Good Old Games. I'm just kind of being a little bit messy here. Got that link butt. Any upcoming games that I'm excited about? So I've been wanting for a really long time just to get into the new Doom series. Like I never played Doom, like even the original Doom. Like I never, because I didn't really have like a. The only games that I played like back in the day on the computer were stuff like like Sim City. That was it. Also, because Doom was like a scary, bloody game. Like I was a goody little two shoes boy, and couldn't play scary, bloody, shooty games. Yeah, I've been wanting to get into Doom. I want to give that a shot because Doom Eternal's coming out. Animal Crossing is coming down. I know my wife's gonna want to get that, of course, which I'll totally also buy for her because she deserves it. She's been working hard. She deserves a little bit of relaxation because she's pretty much relaxed herself out of Stardew Valley, unless someone wants to play Stardew Valley with her. Did you have a chance to play the 16? Just the Doom 16? I think I have it on Steam. I think I bought it, but I just haven't downloaded it and started playing it. The last game I've fully completed, like played through all the way, was The Witcher 1. That's how far behind I am on games. Witcher 1. The one from 2007. That's how far behind I am. And I started Witcher 2, and then got distracted, and then we've just mostly been playing Monster Hunter. Yeah, there's so many, like, and there's also games that I want to play that I have never had a chance to. Like, I want to go back. I have old Doom. I kind of want to play that before I give the new Doom a shot, just so I'd have like a frame of reference for my games. It's your favorite single player FPS campaign ever? Ever? That's big and bold. That's a bold statement. But I mean, if you're gonna pick any game for it to be that, I mean, everything that I've heard, heck yeah. I mean, it would be pretty. For me, it would be pretty tough to top Halo 3. Like Halo 3 for me. I mean, I also have a bit of like nostalgia regarding Halo 3 because it was like my first like 360 game. Oh, I want to shade these. And your chat's gonna be all shaded. Because I know there's gonna be people that are like, oh no, but Halo 1's campaign was better. Like, yeah, but did you see the lighting in Halo 3? The lighting, man. The lighting was just so good. when Doom Eternal was first announced, I was like, man, they should have hired me for the marketing director because, I mean, Doom Eternal is a cool name, but you know what would sound cooler? Eternal Doom. Yeah, yeah. How about that one? See, they should have hired me. I should have been Doom guy. Time Splitters. Yeah, I never played Time Splitters. I watched one of my guys on YouTube that I watch. I don't know if you guys knew Matt from Two Best Friends before they dissolved. He started branching out onto his own like gameplay channel type stuff, and he's been playing some Time Splitters, like in a retrospective sort of view. It seemed pretty cool. Like I didn't realize how wacky Time Splitters was. Like it's a wacky game. Like it's like quite humorous and like self-referential. About how ridiculous it can be. You like kind of want to go back and play it now. But I mean, that's like the beauty of like gameplay videos on YouTube and stuff because you can kind of just see what you haven't experienced before, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I'll go back and experience that. It was the GoldenEye team. I mean, if you're gonna have a team make great games, I mean, there isn't much to say about it. They were great. Although I will say, like, if you're gonna talk about clunky, like the GoldenEye, the original GoldenEye, Fantasy 4, that's some clunk right there. Like you cannot deny that old. If you go back and play that, it is the clunkiest thing. Which I mean, for what it's worth, back in the day, it was smooth like butter. We played it with pure determination. That's what fueled the frame rate. Pure determination. Glorious 15 FPS. Darn tootin'. Yeah, I gotta make sure I got his. Whoa, that's a big old boot shadow. That is not how that looks. There we go. That's a little bit better. I love you guys. Just talking about the glory of GoldenEye. Has there been any new Time Splitters games recently, or have they kind of just dropped off, left in the previous generation for now? Have there been any re-releases or anything like that either? I wouldn't know. They got rid of my favorite gaming news website, Joystick. That was the one that I used to keep up with all the time. Now I don't know what else. I don't know what's going on at all in the gaming world because Joystick went away. I know that they went to Engadget, but that's not the same. Everybody left. Nothing after 3. Yeah, rumors is probably about as uh, legitimate as Half-Life 3. Did you hear about the Half-Life VR thing that they came out with or coming out with? Like, was it next month or so, or like whenever it's coming out? That's another game that I have actually never played before. Half-Life. Don't at me. You can't. I'm a gamer. Can't at me. You just can't. You can't at me. Not allowed. Yeah, and people that I've been watching, like on stream and stuff, who absolutely adore Half Life. They're like, I mean, it looks kind of cool, but like, is this really what we wanted? There you go, a little bit of a linky boot. There you go. That's what that shading should look like. I mean, any VR game would be great as long as you have the proper setup. You got to make sure you have the right room set up and all the other jam. I think that's the one downside to. I mean, I feel like there's quite a few more downsides, but the major downside to doing VR is that it's like I don't think it's hit that level of gaming yet to where it's convenient and where the fun aspect of it ends up taking over the inconvenience of having to rearrange your entire room landscape and stuff like that. Like, it just hasn't hit that level yet to where it's worth. It's still kind of like in tech demo stage, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's kind of like we want Half Life, but not this, please. Anything. But I guess it's something. What else are you gonna ask for? Or what else can you ask for? You're at the whim of Gabe. Gabe the King. See, now I end up getting too hung up on these little details and stuff. Where I should just be focusing on getting the whole drawing done in a timely manner. Because I said that this is going to be about an hour, and it ends up being about 2 hours, up to almost. Because when did I start? I started at like around 12:30ish. Yep, it's going to be about 2 hours. Heck yeah! Thanks for coming and hanging out with me for longer than I said that I'd be on. I appreciate you guys. EA challenge. Yeah, we will challenge everything. We'll challenge your entire understanding of how the gaming industry should work for the customer and for gamers. I'm going to be a little messy here. But I do want to finish in a timely manner. I might go back and clean it up before I post a final image on the YouTube archive. I also got to make sure I finish before the end of the Zelda soundtrack finishes up. We're on Wind Waker now. If you were true gamers, you'd know that we're on Wind Waker. So Animal Crossing's coming out. Doom's coming out. What else we got? Oh, did you hear? There was apparently some news regarding CD Projekt Red or CD Projekt Red or however you want to pronounce that. that once they have finished once they finished Cyberpunk, the team is going to go back to working on a new Witcher game. Oops. Which I'm excited about as someone who's only ever beaten the first Witcher game. But I mean, I totally did buy the Witcher 3 special edition the day that it came out and downloaded it to make sure that it could run on my computer and haven't touched it since. Gamer. That's what game is all about, right? It's just buying games and never playing them. Oh yeah, FF7 Remake. Did you play the demo? Trogador, Burninator, Mr. Burninator. Did you play the demo? Did you like it? Was it good? Was it like up to your? Was it up to your elite expectations for what this remake should be, or could be? See, Square's not going to turn my head until they announce their Final Fantasy IX remake. How about that for a monkey's paw? Oh yeah, I imagine there's like a lot to take in with that game. It's like you hit blunt force with nostalgia right off the bat, and you're like, okay, I got all these new mechanics that I gotta learn, and you have to piece it together like if it's its own game, right? But at the same time, it needs to make those appropriate callbacks to the game that you so love and have so many fond memories with. And I'm glad that they're spending the time to do that, because I mean, so like I was never a super big fan of Final Fantasy VII. I played 9 first. 9 was my first Final Fantasy. That was when I remember specifically because I just turned 13, and as a good little goody two shoes boy, I asked my mom. I was like, "Mommy, can I have a rated PG-13 video game?" And my mommy was like, "Sure, son. We love you very much, and you worked really hard in school, like a good boy. We'll buy you a PG-13 game." And so we went to the store, and I got a chance to pick out a PG-13 game, all for myself. And my choice was, I was like, this looks pretty cool. And so I bought Final Fantasy 9. That was back in the day when you couldn't really figure out a whole lot of stuff about a game, and unless you bought it, you know. And so I bought it on a whim, and it ended up being one of my favorite games ever. And that's the story of how I played Final Fantasy IX before Final Fantasy VII. And so when I was introduced to Mr. Cloud of the Ham Fist polygons, I was like, this is gross, and I didn't like it. And that's also the story of why I didn't play Final Fantasy VII a whole lot. Oh yeah, 6. I played 6 on, or was it? What was the one with Kefka? Whichever the one that Kefka was in is the one that I played from the old SNES. I didn't have it like when I had an SNES. That's 6. Yeah, that was cool. It was a cool game. Like I said, I didn't play it until I was way older, so like I didn't get to experience it, as a kid. But it was a lot of fun. I know it had like a bunch of weird mechanics with like that one kid from like the wild steppe or wild area, and you had to like not hit him or not fight with him, and then you could get a bunch of cool stuff for his fighting. And That's a really cool mechanic. Was that the one where you could suplex the train, also, or is that 4? The ghost train, suplexing the ghost train. Trogdor, I gotta ask, did you cry when, spoilers, Eris died? Because if you didn't, you aren't a real gamer. If you didn't cry. Yeah. You were already spoiled. There you go. You just admitted you're not a real gamer. Too bad. Oh well. Too bad. So sad. It's okay. I'm not a real gamer. If that was the basis for which gamer was derived, because I didn't cry either, because I already knew. Yeah, I played 7 like way after I played 9, and the way 9 was set up to where it was kind of the more traditional. It was like the traditional Final Fantasies on the Nintendo, on the original Nintendo, and on SNES and stuff. With like how, I guess in a way, like each character had their own specific job type and stuff, and you could sort of choose different things, but for the most part, everyone kind of was stuck to their own play style. Like Garnet could really only do healing, and Zidane was, he could do a little bit of weird tactics, but he was mostly a physical damage dealer and that type of stuff. I kind of like, I preferred that style in terms of the Final Fantasy games, as opposed to the Materia type, where you could make almost anybody be whatever they wanted, or whatever you wanted them to be, which is cool. Like, it's a cool idea. I totally am down, but I didn't like it personally as much as the more like rigid, I guess, jobs or functions of the characters in Final Fantasy 9. I felt like it lended itself more to supporting certain character aspects. You know, because like Garnet was like a sweet, like naive princess girl. Like, you wouldn't expect her to be able to do like fire magic and stuff like that. When they released that HD, not a remake, but the re-release for Final Fantasy 9, they upscaled all of the backgrounds to super high res, and that game is beautiful. Because they originally had used the upscaled version, but because it was on the PlayStation 1, they had to downscale it. So now that you have the more advanced hardware, they could just throw in the original resolution background images, and they increased a little bit of the polygon count on the character models and stuff. Like, game looks great. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend. If you're gonna play Final Fantasy 9, play the HD re-release for sure. All right, I think now that we're kind of finished with the shading on the characters here. No, I got the Deku tree like way in the back over there. Maybe just do a little bit of highlight images, a little bit of highlighting here. We'll go with white. We'll go with like a 50%. I might adjust the colors a little bit here, but I think we're kind of approaching the end of our drawing session. The end of our exceedingly long lunchtime. I better get back to work before my boss yells at me. My boss is... I think she's currently sleeping in her bed. I got a little puppy. I mean, she's not a puppy. She's like an old lady puppy. Any cute dog's a puppy to me. Don't at me. Yeah, you got your categories of your puppers and your goofers and goopsters. I've been starting to use different colors and shading because I was really using just white and black and doing different transparencies and stuff on them. But lately, I've been doing different colors and different types of cool colors for the shading, different types of warm colors for the shading. I'm liking how things are starting to turn out. Like I've been using purples and blues for the shading. It's been turning out really nice. So I had to do one final adjustment before we end here with a blue or purple cool shading aspect. So also to keep you guys informed of the schedule, for the streaming schedule, like I said, I want to try to keep a rough schedule of doing Tuesdays for games and doing Thursdays for drawing. Obviously, I hold the right to make adjustments as I see fit because if I need to get a drawing done, I'll need the time to get the drawing done. But that's kind of my normal schedule to kind of. I wanted to just be able to provide a space for people to come hang out and grab a bite to eat for their lunch break and just hang out, chat, talk some games, talk some drawings. Just come hang out, be cool gamers over lunchtime. And I'm glad for the ones that have come out and hung out with me. Made my lunchtime pretty dang cool. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. Truly. I messed up his little foot sheet. The only thing I'm doing here is just kind of marking it and then just kind of creating using my eraser just to kind of create a little bit of weird woody shading, you know? Uh-oh, now we're heading into the Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess has such good music, man. I think Twilight Princess had one of the best soundtracks any Zelda game. It's like Midna's Lament. And I mean, when you heard that on, I don't know if anybody's ever played the Hyrule Warriors, but man, hearing that on Hyrule Warriors, man, oh man, the best. It was just like, mwah, mwah. Zelda, Italiano, with the spaghetti. Mwah. That's what I should make my friend make. Zelda spaghetti. Hey, Luigi. Lots of spaghetti. A little bit of shading for the flower here. Mr. Dookie Tree over here. The eyebrow shade. There we go. Sexy eyebrows. That's hot. There we go. That's better. Make a big old clumps and then I'm going to erase them in a second. I'm a little nervous about continuing the randomizer because like we started out pretty dang good. We got the light arrows, and that was it. That was all we got. I searched almost all the chests that I could think of. I mean, I know that there's a lot of holes and stuff that you can go down that have some treasure chests. I was able to get I figured out that I could use the Deku nuts to wake up the Deku scrubs, the business scrubs that sell you stuff. Figured out that you can use the Deku nuts to wake those up. So, like, if I go down a hole, I'd at least have a means to be able to buy stuff from them. But the ones that we were able to catch so far were just more Deku. Like, I would use a Deku nut to wake up the business scrub, and he would just be like, "Oh, you want some more Deku nuts?" No, I want my sword. They really did a good job with this Mina's Lament arrangement. Sounds great. Can't remember. I think they had this one in Hyrule Warriors too, but it wasn't as cool as this. Unless this is the Hyrule Warriors one. I don't think so. God, the amount of music that they put in Smash Bros. Ultimate is insane. I remember when they first revealed it, it was like, oh yeah, it's like, 257 hours. It's like, nope, still going up, still got 800 hours of music. It's like that's a Reggie Fils-Aimé reveal right there. But you all know. So check this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release this clipping mask. Try to find a color that I want. How about a little bit of a orangish color? So what does this look like? Then you put that clip up. And you put that clipping mask back on. Wait, what the heck? Excuse me. I wanted to merge that down. And then create this clipping mask. There, see? Look, I got a little bit of an orangish color going on there. I kind of want to do the same thing with this. So I wanted to create a clipping mask to put on there. And then how about we go with, like a deep purplish color. And merge that down. And clipping mask, shabam. And then clipping mask, shabam. We can increase the opacity of this one a little higher. Look at those nice. Oh, that background isn't too good. It needs to be a little bit darker. A little paler too, or a little duller. That looks pretty nice. Yeah, there you go. Not too shabby. What do you guys think? I know I went a little bit overboard because I was just kind of chatting and talking with you guys. About 2 hours of a stream. I think I'm going to call it there. Looks pretty nice. Maybe we can add a little bit of a... Looks good? Are you approved? Is it approved? Is it Zuloth approved? There you go. Perfect. Just kind of like, oh. Yeah, maybe we'll do this. Go ahead and just kind of make this one image here. Have to add a little bit of a depth aspect to it here. That is not what I wanted to do. Oh, I forgot the line. Of course, I forgot the line. There we go. Now we merge. There we go. That's what I wanted. There we go. We'll have a little bit of a better composition for it there. How about that? Perfect. Sweet. Oh, and then of course, you know what you got to do. What do you got to do? Every good artist. You gotta sign that. Sign that. Shh. Sign that. Shh. You don't want me to get ad blocked? PG 2020. There you go. There's a little bit of a stinky link right there. A little bit of a stinky link in celebration of the first stream for Lunchtime Let's Plays Zelda Ocarina of Time Randomizer. And this has been Let's Draw. Lunchtime Let's Draw. Thank you guys for coming out. I actually really like this. I might clean this up a little bit. Maybe even make this into a sticker. Might be able to check it out in a little bit if I decide to post it on the Crazy Beard Cash store, which you can get to from the Crazy Beard website. Once we get that actually uploaded, so you can't get there right now. But if you go onto any of my social medias, you can find a link for the Crazy Beard Cash there. I think I have it under Instagrams and my Instagram profile. You can find a couple posts for the Crazy Beard Cash there. Yeah, aside from Crazy Beer Cash, wanted to say, please, if you don't mind, if you'd like to follow along with things I do outside of streaming, outside of gaming, you can follow along on my Instagram, on Twitter. You can check out the Crazy Beard website. Go to my YouTube, where I'll be uploading the archives for these streams here. Maybe make a video or two unrelated to the streaming thing, outside of streaming, maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of just doing this in a sort of free-form sort of manner. Kind of doing what I like to do, and hopefully you guys enjoy hanging out with me while I have some fun drawing and playing some games. Oh, and don't forget to check out the Goblin Collective down below. That website there. That's me and a group of artists here in town formed this sort of art group to be able to make art together, go out to conventions, get our names out, get our artwork out, and share it with the world. So, and it's all part of our Goblin moniker. You can read the story there on that website. It's up there for you to read. So, I think that I am going to end it there. Once again, thank you guys for coming out. I hope you guys had a good lunchtime break. I know this was a little bit over my 1 hour, and by over, I mean double my 1 hour typical scheduled thing that I would want to do. But yeah, this has been Paul with Lunchtime Let's Draw. I will see you guys on Tuesday during lunch. Thanks for coming out. I hope you have a good rest of the day, and I will see you then. Bye bye. All right. I don't know how to end these. Here, I'll tell you what. One last thing. Here's a little stinky. Little link poot. There you go. Bam. That'll be the thumbnail for the video. All right. You take it easy too, Jogdor. Zuloth, you take it easy. Mr. Jed, if you were still here, have a good rest of the day. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. Ending the broadcast now. Bye-bye.